Today we are going to be looking at seller psychology because I think it's one of the biggest barriers that people have when it comes to print on demand. And I'm just going to look at men's t-shirts and see what comes up and just have a little chat with you all about seller psychology and how you shouldn't be too hung up about whether your designs are good enough or not. So the difficulty that I've seen is that with print on demand, Redbubble and other websites, people that haven't started making sales yet haven't had their ideas validated, so they think naturally that they're not good enough. You have to be good to be making money. There are really good artists on Redbubble and they are making money, but you don't have to be an amazing artist. You don't even have to have that much of an amazing idea to be making money. All you need is to impress someone enough for them to purchase your shirt, and you really don't appreciate how easy that is until you've actually had that success. So the message of this video is that you don't need to be amazing to be making money. And if you think you're not good enough, you're wrong. You are good enough. This is the most relevant section of Redbubble, and you can see the top shirt at the moment is literally some text, "I accept cookies," with a crudely drawn cookie around it. This is the most relevant shirt. And actually, if you take some time to look at the most relevant, just step out of the rat race for a minute, stop trying to churn out designs, just have a look. What's the most relevant? What's the best selling? Look in different categories if you want. Doesn't have to be men's t-shirts, so just click that because it's the first one. But if you look at many of the designs in here, anyone could have come up with those and anyone could have made them. It's only after the fact that you look back and think, oh God, I wish I'd have thought of that, because it's so simple. But so many of those ideas come from people, especially people that are new to print on demand, and they've got all these new ideas, but they don't have the confidence in themselves to actually produce them and upload them. There's some on here that are amazing. There's some artists on here that are fantastic. Look at this one, for example. Really good artwork. You can obviously see why it's popular. But a lot of things on here, if you just scroll down, things like this, it's just text, these sort of statements. Someone somewhere has had this thought and uploaded it, and now they're making a lot of money on this shirt. It's not even that amazing in terms of the placement and the text used. I'll leave you to do that in your own time. But thinking of things like this one that's the most relevant at the moment, like I say, most people could have come up with it. You've probably thought of similar ideas that are probably best-selling ideas but dismissed them as not good enough. Imagine how many bestsellers were never made because the person thought that they weren't professional enough, or they weren't a good enough artist, or they weren't funny enough. It's just mind-blowing. And you could be one of these people quite easily. In fact, you don't even need to be the best-selling. You don't even need to be the most relevant. You just need to make a sale, which is so much easier. Let's do a little thought experiment. If someone came up to you, one of your colleagues or your friends, and said, "I've got a best-selling shirt idea. It's an outline of a cookie, but I'm not a great artist. It'll just be a crudely drawn outline, and in the middle, it'll just have text saying, 'I accept cookies.'" How many of you would tell them not to bother? Redbubble, God, there's so much competition, it's crazy. There's no way that will be a best-selling shirt. Look at these artists, they're so good. They really are very good. Do you think your design's actually going to be relevant on Redbubble? Boom, it's the most relevant at the moment. So really the message that I want to get to you is that you don't have to be an amazing artist. You don't have to have what is the perfect idea, because that doesn't exist. You just have to have an idea that is good enough to impress someone, enough for them to make a sale. And that is relatively easy. You can come up with 10 original ideas within 10 minutes. And I guarantee that most of the time you will think that your art or your design isn't good enough, because I think that. I think that all the time about designs, and most of the time when I upload them, they aren't successful. But some of the time they are successful, and some of the time it shocks me how successful they are. And those successful opportunities make up for all the, quote, failures that have happened previously. So please don't doubt your ability. Please don't think you're not good enough. You are good enough to make sales. Your ideas are good. Keep coming up with them. Keep uploading, and you will find success.